It is on. All right, good morning, third grade.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds.
So today we got something really, really exciting. I don't know how many of you guys have read this book. I heard a lot of you I heard a lot of you guys did a play on this book in the past. That is so exciting. What we're going to do today and what we'll finish up on Monday is we're going to create a wild rumpus in here on drums. And it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys will each today get the opportunity to play this drum. And that's really exciting because I know we've been all dying to play it. And yeah. So we'll definitely all get to do that. I wrote my own Wild Rumpus composition that I'm going to teach to you guys. And you guys are going to play it. And then, I don't know if you remember, but we talked about improvisation last time. Can anybody raise their hand and tell me what that means? Yeah.
Making something up.
Very good, very good. But it also makes sense, right? It makes sense with what we're doing. It's a good option. We're making good options and good decisions. So you guys will get the opportunity today to do a little improvisation on your own when creating your own wild rumpuses. I'm really excited. Yeah, question.
Why is it off the stand?
Yeah, really good question. I will answer that here in a second. Let me read the book first, and then I'll answer that, and a couple other questions about the economy that I'm sure you guys have, that every other class has had so far. Okay, where the wild things are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. And another. I know, poor dog, that's what I said. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without anything to eat. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And you guys got the weekend coming up. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through day and night. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the places where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with his magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened of him and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be loved by someone best of all. Then all around from far across the world he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things. But then the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you sup. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night into his very own room where he found supper waiting for him. And third grade, for those of us who know the next line. And it was still hot. Awesome job. So, I want to show you a little bit about this conga drum. What's really cool about it is, even though it's one drum, I can get a lot of different sounds out of it. I don't know if any of you guys heard that in my wild rumpus that I was playing, but there was a lot of different sounds. I wasn't just getting one sound.
The last one that you did, I think I've heard before.
Oh yeah? That was my improvisation, so I was making that up, but I'm sure it sounded maybe like something that you heard before.
I think I've heard it before.
Very cool. So if we look at this drum, if I hit it in the very center, listen to this kind of sound that I get. And if I hit it here on the edge, I just got to move my hand back. Completely different sound, isn't it?
It's higher.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot higher. So, repeat after me. Monsters from the woods.
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 Very good, very good. Now, my choice, if you saw, when playing Monsters from the Woods, I did two of these middle, or what we call the bass tone. And then from the woods, I did on the edge. Listen to it. And I could do, and when you guys are doing your wild rumpuses, you could do whatever different sound you wanted. Okay? Now, do I have anybody who thinks that they could play it just like I was playing it earlier? Yeah. Go ahead and come up here. You think you got it? Give it a shot. Two in the center. Monsters from the woods. Close. Try it again. Try it again. Let's help them out. Let's all say the word with them. 1, 2, ready, go.
Monsters from the woods.
Monsters from the woods. Very good. Very good. You can have a seat. The second one, again, we'll all get the opportunity to play. The second one I had, repeat after me. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus.
Wild rumpus, wild rumpus.
Wild rumpus, wild rumpus.
Wild rumpus, wild rumpus.
Now make sure this beat is together. No faster or slower than I'm doing right now. Let's get it going. Together, together. Eyes up here, eyes forward. So you can see where the beat is. Okay. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus.
Wild rumpus, wild rumpus.
Wild rumpus, And drive anybody who thinks that they can play that one? Yeah. You wanna come
Wait,
up?
what was the beat again?
Wild rumpus, wild rumpus. So I did 2 bass and 2 on the edge. Give it a shot.
So I guess.
Do it a couple times. Wild rumpus, wild. Very good. Yeah, very good. Have a seat. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go around the room, and I'm gonna set the drum in front of you, and you can either say pass.
What about the third one?
You can either say pass. So the third one was an improvisation.
So we can do anyone.
So you guys can do something a lot similar when we get there. But right now, I need you to tell me. I'm going to be going around. Tell me one of 3 things. Either pass, which is I'll go, and you don't want to play. That's fine. You can say I want to play monsters from the woods or wild rumpus. Okay. And there's Well, yeah. Let's start off with that. Okay, so you just went, so I'm going to go right here. Monsters from the woods or into the rumpus? Or wild rumpus? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, let's get our beat going, class. 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah. So again, you're hitting your hands like this, but make sure you're using your fingertips. Let's try again. 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome. Which one are you wanting to do? Just do it 4 times. Monsters from the woods. Okay. Monsters from the woods. Ready? 1, 2. Claps. Ready? Go. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Awesome. Which one do you want to do? Pass? Are you sure? Okay. Wild rumpus? Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome. Wild rumpus. 1, 2, class, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome. 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Make sure we're with the beat. Let's try that one more time. Class, can we get a steady beat going for them? 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome. Awesome, Justin. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. You ready? 1, 2, class. Ready, go. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Awesome. Which one are you thinking?
What was the other one before?
So it's either wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome. Pass? Okay. Gonna go back here. This is where we added that space. Which one are you thinking? Wild rumpus? Okay, you ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. And that's cool. You changed it up a little bit when you're doing it. That's awesome. You ready? Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome. Yeah. 1, 2. Oh, he already went? Yeah, you went up there. You'll get another opportunity to play again. But for the sake of time. You're gonna pass? Okay.
Yeah.
Wild rumpus? Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome, just 4 times. Just 4 time. Thank you. Very good. You ready? Okay. 1. Monsters from the woods. Okay.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I'll show you one more time. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. You ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Monsters from the woods. Awesome, awesome. Some variations in there too. That works, it works. So it's either wild rumpus, or monsters from the woods. Wild rumpus, okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus, wild rumpus. Awesome.
Everyone has gone.
All right. Now there's a couple of other sounds that you can actually get on the conga drum. One of them is this slap. So you can get an open drum. I can get a bass. I can get a slap. That technique is really hard. I have a 7th grader who's been studying with me for 2 years, and he's still working on his slap tones. And I am also still working on my slap tones too. You can bend the pitch on this by putting your elbow on it. So you can bend the pitch on a conga drum. I can do, this is something that's really fun to do. So we were all doing really good on those bass tones. I can put my hands forward as well. And if you get really good at it, it's something that you can do really, really fast. I don't know a lot of people who can do the double strokes faster than that. And it's something that's pretty fun to
People
have.
can do that faster than you.
I know there are, but I just don't know a lot of people. I wish there were, because then I could learn from them and I could ask them. Hey, how do you play it faster? Right now, people ask me, and I barely know. Yeah, I bet you can play pretty fast. Okay, so right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to play another Wild Rumpus. Oh, I'm waiting for a wish to be off. Thank you. Right now, I'm going to play a small improvisation while you guys do stand up, hand up, pair up, and find one partner. And then once when you're done, sit on the ground where you're at. Okay? And go ahead, get up, stand up, pair up. Okay, now I need one of your partners. Everybody has a partner? Do we have an odd number? Okay, can we spread the groups out just a little bit so I can see who is in what group? You're over here. And you two, go ahead and sit down. Have a seat where you're at. Have a seat where you're at. I need one person from each group to come up and get a drum. Don't swap it out. You get what I give you. You get what I give you. All right, and oh, don't play. Sorry, that's my fault. I should have told you. If we review, we're now transitioning. Let's look at our chance poster into instrument playing. Our voice levels are out of 0. Great job. We're doing that. We're not singing, but when we're playing, I want your playing level out of 3, not a 5. A 3. Okay. Raised hands. We're focusing on our objective. Awesome. We're staying seated on the ground. Here's the biggest one. Eye contact with me. Use correct technique. Strike gently. Sorry, I didn't see that. Strike gently, and do not touch instruments until directed to do so. So just hold them right in front of you. Don't play. Here's what's going to happen. How many pages in this book did we have a Wild Rumpus?
3.
Oh, I'm looking for a raised hand. Yeah, how many?
3.
Very good. We had 3 pages on here. So on the first page, quietly with your partner, you need to decide whether you're doing Wild Rumpus or whether you're going to do Monsters from the Woods. Go ahead and talk with your partner.
Wild Rumpus. Oh, you can also do it on this one too.
You can.
Wait, can we play?
Nope, no plan. I would really hate Jack to take away a drum from a student who's playing. Thank you. And so on the second page, you're going to do the other one. So if on the first page you chose Monsters from the Woods, then on the second page you're doing Wild Rumpus, and vice versa. If you were doing Wild Rumpus first, then you're doing Monsters from the Woods. Now when we get to the third page of our Wild Rumpus, this is really important, this is really crucial. When we get to our third page of Wild Rumpus, then you get to improv with your partner, and I will give you some time to talk it over, but here's the crucial part. This is Wild Rumpus music, right? This is dancing music. If you saw those monsters were having fun and dancing. You want to know what's really hard to dance to? Don't play? That's really hard to dance to, because that, even though that wasn't improvisation, it's too fast for people to dance to. People don't like dancing to that. People like dancing to stuff like what we just played. But on your improvisations, again, you can use whatever technique or whatever you think is good, but this is more of dancing music. That's more of a dancing music that we're going for your improvisation, okay? So, I'm going to read through the book. When I get to the first page, I'll count you off, and we're still going to play together as a class, but with your partner. When we get to the second page, same thing. When we get to the third page, I'll give you guys a little bit of time, and then I'll hear your improvisations. Voices need to be off. Voices need to be off. I'm going to read through this book. I'm not going to show the pictures because we've already done that once, but when we get there, you guys will know what to do. Yes?
Who's going to play the conga drum?
Nobody's playing the conga drum for right now.
Oh.
Nobody's playing the conga drum. Yeah. Okay, which don't you understand? How long? Is that what you asked?
So which one are we going to do first?
So the first one,
We'll do Wild Rumpus.
on the first page, that's whatever your partner decided. So you guys are at the same time are going to either play Wild Rumpus or Monsters from the Woods on the first page. On the second page, you're playing the other one. On the third page, if you've already, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But on the third page, and you guys are both playing at the same time. What don't you understand? So you and your partner are going to either play Wild Rumpus or Monsters from the Woods.
So which one's wild?
Your decision, you decide.
Are we supposed to do it together?
Yeah, play it together. Yeah. Play it together. Okay, you're listening and try it out. Okay, voices off in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief for one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he went to bed without anything to eat.
If I could have your attention, please, for just a couple of announcements. I want to first just praise everyone for the wonderful job you did today on our first evacuation to Rally Point. Those of you that were at school here at West last year will recall that we actually did evacuate due to an actual gas leak down on 4th Street. It was a potential gas leak from construction, and we bused you all over to the middle school. I had a student ask me today, why would we go to the First Baptist Church if there was a gas leak this close to the building? And what I explained to him, it was a great question, is that we are going to a rally point, and if there is a need to transport you somewhere safer, we would dispatch buses to pick us up and then take us either to the middle school, to the high school, to Central, or to wherever we think we need to be to keep you safe, and then dismiss you to your parents. I would want to say one other thing. I was informed that no one could hear me on the outside of the building. That is because we have a new intercom system, and I failed to press the all zones page, so I want to apologize for that, and that's why we do these drills. So you can hear my message on the inside of the building, but not on the outside of the building. From start to finish, this is pretty impressive. I started my directions to you at 8:26. It took about 3 minutes to give you specific instructions. The school was clear. We stopped that at 8:29. Our school was clear by 8:34. That's 5 minutes, and that is outstanding. Everyone was at the church at 8:38. That was 4 minutes to get from here to our destination. And then all were accounted for by 8:41. That was in 3 minutes, folks. I am extremely proud of each and every one of you. I'm so proud of our students. I'm so incredibly proud of our staff, and so grateful for a staff that loves our kids, supports our kids, and does everything possible to keep you all safe. Students, I encourage you to thank the adults in the building today and every day for what they do to keep you safe, because they take this job seriously. They care about you, they love you, and they always want you to be safe. Again, great job to everyone. Also, just a reminder, make sure you check your doors that they actually are physically locked. There was one door that I think someone thought was locked and had a magnet in place, but the door was actually not physically locked. So take a second today and make sure your doors are always physically locked and that your magnets are in place. And that should be for every door in the building. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm getting ready to send out correspondence to our parents to let them know about our drill today. Students, if you are dropped off late at school, an adult should always remain with you until they know you're able to get into the building. We had signs on our door today expressing that we were in an evacuation drill and there was no one in the building. We don't ever want a child to be left behind. So please, your parents or guardians or whomever brings you to school, if you're tardy, needs to bring you to the building. Please remind them of this, and I will remind your parents as well. Everyone have a great day and a great weekend, and stay safe. Thank you.
That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until the ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around him. An ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and didn't out for weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to that place of where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with his magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without winking even once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. So this is the first page. Remember, on my first page, I played Monsters from the Woods. So whatever you're playing, whatever you and your partner decide to play together at the same time, that's what we're going to do. I'll count you off just like we did in this individual. 1, 2, ready, go. That you didn't play. 1, 2, ready, go. And stop. And here's the third page. Don't play. Decide with your partner what you want to improvise. You can talk it out, you can think. I'll give you 30 seconds to do so. 30 seconds to talk with your partner. Decide what you want to play. Just do it. That's a great idea. All right, here's our third page. Here's our third page improvisation. 1, 2, ready, go. all around the world, he smelled good things to eat, so he gave up kings of being the wild things. But the wild things cried, "Please don't go, we'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over the year, in and out of weeks and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot. Do I have any groups that want to show the class what their wild rumpus was? And their ideas that they came up with? Yeah, this group over here. Make sure we're all listening. I'll call on whichever group. Okay, you guys ready? Let me count you out. 1, 2, ready, go. Very cool, very cool. 2 class. Next group. Yes.
Just the last one.
The last improvisation that you two guys did. Okay. And reminder. So was that good dancing music? Where was the beat? Where was the groove? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So remember, our improvisations, even though I love playing fast like that too. I love playing fast like that too. But our improvisations have to make more sense. Great speed though, I love the speed. This group over here. Hey, very cool, very cool. 2 claps. And this group right here. Very cool. 2 claps. And any other groups that want to go? Yeah, right here. Awesome. 2 claps. Hey, you guys did it together. Very good. This group right here want to go? Okay. Very cool, very cool. 2 claps. Does this group want to go? Okay, do you want to play yours individually? And she can play yours individually? You want to try that out? Okay, who wants to go first? Okay, why don't you go first? Okay, you ready? 1, 2, ready, go. You don't want to? Okay, you don't have to. You want to go? All right. 1, 2, ready, go. Very cool, very cool. We're going to use the whole drum. 2 claps. Any other groups that still need to go? This group over here. And I see them over here. Awesome, awesome. And do you want to do yours as well? Nope. Okay, 2 claps. All right, do you want to go now? All right, go ahead. Very cool, very cool. 2 claps. And this group right here, you guys want to go? All right. Very cool, very cool. 2 claps. And do you want to do yours? Nope. Okay. All right. I need. What's that time yet? To keep a couple of minutes. Okay. I need everybody to have a seat and return the drums to me. The largest ones first, please, so I can stack them up. Yeah, you're first. Can I get yours? Awesome. Oh, nice. That makes sense. That's good thinking. Yeah, that's good thinking. I like that. All right, so when we come back, and when I see you guys next, I don't know about you, but I love the drawings in this book. I love the illustrations. And there's a couple of really funny monsters in here that that I think would be really, really fun to name. And so we're going to go through and name some of these monsters. Do I have anybody who has maybe an example name that they would like to say? Yeah. Buzzy Papa? Is that what you said? Okay. That's a really good one. So here's how I would play that. Here's how I would play that, because that's a really good one. Buzzy Papa, you said? Awesome. Do I have any other good names? Let's try and come up with a really good name for this goat right here. This goat looking thing. This goat looking thing. Yeah. Horny? Alright. How would you play that? Do you have a guess of how would you try and play that? You want to come up and try? No? Okay. Do you want to come up and try? Alright.
Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. That was awesome. Alright, so again, next time I see you, everybody's going to get the opportunity to write 4 different names down and come up with those ideas, and then you'll have the chance to play it in front of the class, just like you did. And I'll give you time to practice it. I'll give you plenty of time.
Can I just get one more name for that goat guy?
Sure, I'll take one more name down. Godenak? Maniac Godenak. That's a cool one.
Well, not either one. It's Godenak.
Godenak. Very, very cool. Okay, once all of our voices off and we're quiet, we'll line up by the door. Thank you. Back row. Thank you guys for being quiet. You can go ahead and stand up. And are you the line leader? Okay, I'll let you go ahead. Yeah, please do not forget your iPads. Please do not forget your iPads. And you can go out to the hall and meet up. What? And front row. What? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Nice. Very good. Nice. Darius. That's a good one.
Go into the library and let her know you're ready. Is she out there? Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hit stop.